Hello everyone. Today is an interesting day. It will help you understand basically the trend trading. There's a trend reversal as well, and the move is getting stalled at a certain point. So we'll go through all of these dimensions and understand how the day unfolded. Right? I have captured some the summary as well that you see here on the screen, wherein I'm talking about the three trades that I have marked here, one short and two longs, and how bar by bar analysis played a role into these trades. Okay, so let's get started and go through these one by one. Bar 1, this is the bar 1 wherein it poked below EMA and managed to close strong. So bulls were really holding the ground, and at least they exhibited a bullish pressure on bar 1, right? Do we take any action here? No, because this is still within yesterday's range, and this is not the bar 1 setup that I want to trade on, right? So we wait. What do you see next? There's a gap down between bar 1 closed and this bar 2 open. Bears try to take the control immediately, right? And they succeeded in doing so because they at least managed to close the bar as bearish one. There's a tail wherein some of them might have booked the profit, some of the bulls might be scaling in lower here, right? And what happened next is bar 3. Again, there you see bear continuation, but it was held at EMA level, right? So some bulls are scaling in here as well, or some bears who sold the close of this bar, betting on this failure of this breakout above EMA, are getting out here, right? So as you can see, every single bar or every single tick, there are trades happening uh, because the bulls and bears are fighting it out, and there are different ways in which the trading can be done. We don't need to know everything that is there, but we need to find out a way to get an edge in the market and be profitable, consistently profitable. If not making 200, 300, 400 points every single day, that's a long ask, but at least, as I have been saying, 100 points per week is our target to make in Bank Nifty futures, right? Coming back to this particular video, so bears possibly gave up here, or they booked profits, or they're still holding in. Some of them are still holding, right? Those bulls who were scaling in, they started buying at this level as well. They bought the close of bar 3 and pushed the prices up, right? Those who bought the close of this bar, right, now scaled in lower here, are at least getting an opportunity to get out at break even, right? What do you see next? Bears sold above this bar 4's high, so bulls did not get any continuation and pushed the prices down, poked marginally below yesterday, sorry, the EMA, and it closed strong enough, right? So this is basically a double top, making a double top with bar 1. Bulls are disappointed, and possibly they're going to give up, at least temporarily, right? That's what you see what happened next. Those bulls who are betting on the continuation are, they see that this bear, with this bear bar, there's no continuation. Some of them have already gotten out at break even, or some made small profits. So what do you see here? What story is being told, right? Right now, with this bar by bar analysis, we see that there is a possible failure of the breakout of our EMA, and bears are taking charge. Do we have enough room of profit? Yes, we do. What is happening is that we have this room till yesterday's low at least. There's possible minor resistance at this level, right? That could be held, but it's possibly a weak one or a minor one, because we have this strength on the bearish side that should be able to uh, basically crash it and being able to move downwards. right? So this is the entry bar for that short trade. You can see that it opened without tail and it closed without tail, so it was that strong. Bears took the charge. It closed below bar 1 low, right? There's a attempt by the bulls to hold the ground here because some bulls who did not give up yet are trying to scale in here. They couldn't manage. Bearish close with tails on top and bottom, so possibly this bear move is not really getting that strong momentum. And then another bar wherein again tails on top and bottom, and it is just getting stalled above the yesterday low, which is a possible strong support. And those bulls who basically bought in here are scaling in lower in this zone or area, right? That's what you see, but you at least managed to, you basically were short at 16, this particular 16,865, and this bar went till 16,834, so 30 points of profit was available in this short trade, right? What do you see next? As I mentioned, those bulls who had held through all of this down move were basically scaling in, and they bought the close of this bar, right, bear bar, and look at this move, again a bar without any tails, right? All that selling pressure created through 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, or at least these 3 bars, which are basically the breakout bars, has been soaked up, right? These bears who sold the closest of this bar, looking at this successful breakout below bar 1 low, this bar are disappointed now. They need to get out at break even, or even a loss, right? So what do you see next? Some the bulls that sense this, right? They're going to buy, right? Keep buying closes. You see, this is what happened. They bought the close of this bar. There's a tail. Some bears are trying to apply the pressure and see if they can get the limit uh, orders, and scale in higher and being able to get out at break even. What do you see next? Bar managed to close bullish. Next, bar managed to close bullish. Now what do you see next? Again, there was an attempt. There are some bears still hoping possibly, and that was the last gasp wherein they pushed, but beer bulls soaked in. They bought the lows of these bars and they're scaling in lower, and they're going to push the prices up, right? So these bears who had sold here and they did not get out in this area are getting out at loss. The moment you see this, because I drew this trend line, right? I did not buy about this bar's high because there was a possibility of failure and I wanted to see some more clues, right? But when I saw this, there's a second and third bar, bullish bar, and they're able to hold the ground. And then I saw this tail going down, and bar is able to move above this zone, which, I mean, when it was actually happening in the real time, I placed my long order above this bar high, right? So it was around 16,880.20. I got filled in at around 16,884. Yes, there was a slippage in Bank Nifty that you have to deal with, right? You can't escape that. That's part of the business. So you see this breakout entry bar close strong, which is a good sign. There is a resistance, possible resistance here that you had to deal with, uh, or you can decide to get out at 20 points, okay, or 10 points. I wanted a swing trade because I was waiting on this continuation, because I could see the clues being thrown in, wherein it's a clear uh, strength on the bulls side. So I waited on the swing trade, and this is what happened next. The bar broke out of this bar once high, and a new high was made. Bar had a tail on top, but at least the bar closed uh, decently bullish. Then there was an attempt by the bears to fail the breakout about this high, and it was not a strong one. It was a weak one because bears soaked up all the pressure, and it closed as a doji bar, right? So that's a sign that this breakout is not failing, at least yet. What do you see next? And then another attempt by the bears. What do you see next is tail on the bottom, and that means bulls are holding their ground. They expect some more continuation, right? There is a weakening of momentum that is there. but it is the bulls haven't given up yet, right? Some bought the close of this bar as well, and they're scaling in lower to push the prices up, right? So what do you see? Some bears who try to fail the breakout uh, here, betting on the trading range day, because beyond bar one's range price failed at the lower end of the range, coming back up all the way up. They expect the price to fail here and they can get the move down, right? What's happening here is those who try to create that short trade are basically they scale in higher here because there is a gap up. They scaled in higher, but then again gave up quickly at break-even price or at a smaller loss, right? That is telling you that bears gave up, and then you can see that this price erupted, right? It was not a strong burst, but at least decent trend bars uh, in the bullish direction or up move, right? So you could you got in at around as I mentioned 1680 depending upon what price you got filled in. This one is at least 20 points, and here you basically got 30 points or even 40 points, right, depending upon the price at which you got filled. There was this bullish channel that was going on, the tight channel is there, right? Some bulls who bought in here bought the close of this bar, which was the highest close at that point of time. What happened here is that there's a gap down, close here, open of this bar, which is a gap down. They try to push the prices, and bar close bearish, right? Now these bulls are disappointed. There was a clue that bears were trying to fail this breakout. Okay, an attempt was made here. Now these bears are coming back in, right? Because they could sense that there's a loss of momentum here. The breakouts are not being followed by strong bars. There are tails on uh, all these bars, right? So these bulls who bought the close are disappointed now. There is an attempt to scale in here. That's why you see this tail, and some of them got out at break even. Some had to get out at small loss, right? So these bulls gave up here, and that is what bears knew. At least for a short while, it may or may not reverse the trend completely, but it might give you a scalper, right? Which is good enough for some of the traders, aggressive traders, right? So that's why you see these gap down. They knew that the bulls had given up. They created a pressure and then kept pushing the prices down. What they could manage is just this much, which is the price was held up about this level, because this was an area where the breakout happened, and they knew that if it is being held, uh, the prices will not go down any further, at least for a while, right? So there will be some continuation that will happen. You can see that bulls bought the close of this bar, try to push the prices up. Some bears try to scale in here about this bar's high, and but because they could not see any continuation here, those who sold the closes of this bar or this bar, yeah, strong support in this zone, they got out. That's why you see this tail wherein bears gave up, and then so bears were also getting out and bulls were also looking to get in here, sensing that this is an important area where support is being formed. Kept this particular bar could close bullish, and you see this nice bar without any tails or shaved bar. So you see 1 2 3 bars, and it closed about this bar, right? These are the two bars which created the bear strength, right? Whenever you want to see whether the existing trend is still there or not. One of the things that you can look at is what has happened to the left side, which are the strong bars that uh, basically completed the train move, right? And then now it is getting negated. How is it getting negated is what matters, right? What you see next is attempt by the bears. Possibly some did not give up here. They're trying to scale in above here, or these bulls are getting out, depends, right? What you see next is that the strength has been exhibited. Now you see this tail, that means the bulls scaled in lower. They bought the low of this bar or bought the close of this bar, and then that's possibly some bears were trapped or some got out at loss, right? So that is where you get the long opportunity. You go long above this bar's high, which is 16903. It's the same one. Now here, this is the third push up for the day, because this is the first, second, and whatever we get here will be the third push. So, and this is in between. This is not the beginning of the move. Why? Because the move began here, right? For us to really bet on 30 points and further, we need to get in the trade as early as possible. That is important. Here it is somewhere in between, right? The trend, you see 3 bars already have covered a decent distance. Now we want to wait in continuation of 30 points. So here we'll look at uh, the 20 points target, right? So you're getting long, and then there's a follow through. It's 903, and this is 920, and on this bar you got your target of 20 points. Someone could have got 25 points as well. It depends, and it's up to you, right? So that is around 9:48. We have already covered 30 minutes of analysis, and that's it. Okay. This is the third push for the day, and that is where the price stalled, and this basically kept on going down, some correction, and then it will depend whether the price uh, basically continues coming down and reverses the trend completely or remains there. You could see that it came all the way down and poked through yesterday's low. So this is the second attempt to basically get past in here. Okay. Well, anyway, that's not something that we trade. Uh, we are focused on making 100 points per week in just 30 minutes of trading, right? If 100 points is difficult, and yes, it is easier said than done, you can focus on making 50 points per week. Okay, I'm showing them numerous opportunities or trades that are possible to be taken in the first 30 minutes of the opening range, and 50 minutes should not be that difficult. Sorry, 50 points per week should not be that difficult. Getting that consistency of making 50 points uh, per week, and then you basically increase that going forward. Once you have that consistency established, you make it 80 points, 100 points, or you could make more number of points, right? The goal is to be consistent. Okay, I have written down the summary of all the talking that I have done. Not every single thing, but at least the important ones that would help, because uh, sometimes you just want to look at the text, and that is uh, some feel that it is helpful than the going through all the video explanation. So perfectly fine, that's up to you. Okay, I hope it helps. Thank you for watching.